Hi, I'm Maureen Fan. I'm CEO and co-founder of Baobob Studios, an animation VR studio.
So tell me what your studio does, Maureen.
So we make VR animation. Our first film, Invasion, is about bunnies and aliens, and you are actually a bunny. So when you look down, you see you have a little bunny body. If you squat down, your bunny body gets fatter, and you and your bunny friend save the Earth from these menacing aliens that come down from space. And so we're actually debuting Asteroids, which is the next installment of the Invasion series here at Oculus Connect, and we have a whole lot of different IP we're also working on, all animated for VR that are going to come out soon. So Eric Darnell is my co-founder, and he was the writer and director of all 4 Madagascar films. So he comes from the film background and really learned about that, and he's found that he needs to throw a lot of that away and think in a completely different way for film. So for animation and live action, you both have the question of how do you direct the viewer's eyes? Because now that you can't do cuts, pans, zooms, you can't force people to look at exactly what you want, right? So Steven Spielberg is very famous for saying for VR that VR is dangerous because directors are in a way control freaks. You want to force people to see exactly what you want. But now if the audience gets bored, they can look wherever it is they want. So we need to come up with methods of how to direct the viewer's eyes to get them to look where we want them to look, to inspire them, not force them. So for example, you see an Invasion when the bunny looks to the right, you kind of want to see what the bunny's looking at, so you also look to the right. And that's how we direct your eye. And then a spaceship comes in and you're like, oh, the spaceship. So even though Eric planned for you to see it, you feel as though you're making that choice yourself. So that's something that's similar between animation and live action, a problem that we're trying to solve. But in animation in particular, it's a question of why does something have to be in VR? Or what is it that VR allows you to do that a normal rectangular screen can't? And so what Eric really wanted to experiment with is what does it mean for you to be a character inside the film? So if you were Aladdin in Aladdin or Beauty in Beauty and the Beast, what is that like? Because it's kind of weird if you're in a VR 360 environment, what are you? Are you a ghost? Are you a character? Are you just like a floating entity? But if you want to feel like you're truly there, we felt we need to make you a character. So that's why you're actually a bunny in it, and that made sense about why you're in the film and how you and your bunny friend save the Earth together.
VR games, especially here at the show, want to immerse you into the game to make you feel like you're part of the game. And VR films want you to immerse to feel like you're part of the action. Do you think we'll see a cross between film and gaming kind of meet in the middle somewhere and make the spectacular VR thing?
Yes, so we're often asked, is your thing a film or is it a game? And I usually say neither. You can either say it's a mashup of both or it's something completely new. And I prefer to say it's something new because in a game you're oftentimes a character, it's egocentric. What am I supposed to do to get to the next level? Who am I? I'm thinking about the game maker. Versus in film, you don't think about yourself at all. You're in a black, dark theater and you're completely passive and you're just putting your mind into the minds of the characters. What are they thinking? But now in VR, you are in it. So then, does it feel like a game? Eric doesn't want you to feel like it's a game because he doesn't want you to think about yourself, because then your attention is split between you and the characters versus focusing on the characters and caring about them. So he really wanted to test Invasion. How do we put you in the film without making you think too much about yourself and the filmmaker or the game maker? What do they want you to do? Because as soon as you do that, you kick that person out of the experience. He wants you to care about those characters and interact with those characters as if they're real, not because you know that they're just like using a controller and what am I supposed to do next? So I would say it's something in between or something completely new because there is narrative similar to a film, but it isn't a game engine and there's interactivity.
And how have advances in technology helped you guys prepare for this industry with Samsung Gear VR and new computer hardware constantly being released every year?
It's really hard but exciting. It's the reason why Eric got into this, because he said, I can either make Madagascar 20 or I can be part of creating a new cinematic language. And he actually joined DreamWorks PDI at the time, right when they started. So he was hired in as an animator, and he says he was a director of Ants, DreamWorks' first ever full-length animated film, and he says it feels the same way that it did back in the day with CG, where it's art and science together, and nobody really truly knows what they're doing, but trying to figure it out all together. And so for him, he's like, I get to be part of creating something completely new, and the technology is constantly changing. But it means that we have to constantly experiment because things are changing so much, which is one of the reasons why we're doing shorts instead of long form. So we learn something, we quickly put it into the next thing. But it's interesting because my background is more games. I came from Zynga as vice president of games there, looking over Farmville franchise. I was there for 6 years. And Eric's background is more on the game side. So we're merging the two together of like game technology and film technology together into this new thing called VR.
And where can people watch your film, your film shorts, and at what platforms? Vive, Oculus, Samsung Gear?
Yes, we are on just about every single VR platform you can think of. We're gonna be on PlayStation when it launches. We're on the homepage of Daydream. We're in the commercial of Daydream, just announced yesterday. On the Rift, on the Gear, like on Within, on Jaunt, basically all of the headset. Yes, we're everywhere.